The primary income earner in a household is known as a breadwinner. More and more women are becoming breadwinners across the United States and the world. This is a new phenomenon that societies have not seen before at this scale. According to the Pew Research Center in 1970, only 4% of American wives were earning more money than their husbands. By 1980, this rose to 13% of American wives. By the year 2000, 25%. And in the year 2017, Pew Research recorded 28% of American wives were the breadwinners of their households. At what point do husbands begin feeling stressed regarding their wives' incomes? And will wives continue to outearn their husbands in the future? All that and more coming up. Hey everyone, my name is Stephen Hack and this is CareerWatch, where we help you with your career search. We have weekly videos on job statistics, salary statistics, and we cover career news every week. If you enjoy this video, support this channel by giving it a like. Recently, a fascinating study by Joanna Sirda came out of the University of Bath. This study covered about 6,000 American households from 2001 to 2015. The full study is free to read. I've provided a link below in the description in case you want to check it out. Here are two fascinating takeaways from the study. In marriages where the husband starts off as the breadwinner, on average, his stress levels are lowest if he is contributing 60% of the household income and his wife is contributing 40%. The 60-40 ratio appears to be the magic number for the average breadwinning husband's psychological health. Let's say a household is bringing in $100,000 per year. If the husband is contributing $60,000 of the $100,000, or 60% of the household income, he will feel the least amount of psychological distress. And in this case, the wife would contribute 40% or $40,000. Here's the chart from the study. On the left side of the graph, the husband is contributing 100% of the household income. And at the right side of the chart, the husband is contributing 0% of the household income. The y-axis shows the stress level of the husband. And the numbers on the left show the distress level of the husband. Here's how the study worked. Both husbands and wives were asked on the stress level of the husband. If a 0 was selected, it represented none of the time. 1 equals a little of the time, 2 equals some of the time, 3 equals most of the time, and 4 equals all of the time. So on the y-axis of this chart, this is the average of these 6,000 data points. So a 2 would mean that the husband is distressed some of the time, whereas a 3 means the husband is distressed most of the time. And a 4 would mean the husband is distressed all of the time. The blue line in this chart is the wife responding, and the orange line is the husband responding. The blue line represents how stressed out the wife thinks that the husband is, and the orange line is the husband responding himself. So as you can see, when the husband is contributing 100% of the household income, he is fairly stressed out. As the wife starts making more money, his stress level drops to a low of when he is contributing 60% of the household income. Then as the wife becomes the breadwinner, his stress level grows. What's really interesting is that when he is contributing only 20% of the household income, he is actually more distressed than when he is contributing 100% of the household income. And as he is contributing less and less, his distress level grows. The blue line again is the wife responding to how distressed her husband is. So wives tend to think that the husband is actually more distressed than he actually is. So wives actually believe the husband is more distressed than he actually is up until he is contributing 15% of the household income. Then the husband is reporting that he is more distressed than the wife believes that he is. So this is a really interesting chart. I know it's kind of complicated. I hope I explained it well. If this is confusing, let me know in a comment below and I will get to it as soon as possible. The second interesting part of the study is that in marriages where the wife starts off as the breadwinner, the husband doesn't feel this form of marital stress. So in relationships where the wife starts off as the breadwinner, the man never feels this level of distress regarding his income. It doesn't matter if he's contributing 30% of the household income or 70% of the household income, his stress level is pretty stable. This just goes to show you that we have expectations of our partners and that these expectations are hard to change over time. It seems that in a relationship where the husband starts off as the breadwinner, both members of the relationship expect him to continue being the breadwinner. So this can create a pretty stressful environment. So next I want to get into, will this continue? Will more and more women in the United States continue to become breadwinners of their households? There are actually many reasons why women will continue to become breadwinners all across the United States. I'm only going to get into a few of them. One reason is that there's a lot more job growth in high-paying female occupations over male occupations. And here I'm going to compare two different occupations. The first is a common high-paying male-dominated occupation. The second is a high-paying female-dominated occupation. And these two occupations really stand out when it comes to number of jobs, pay, and forecasted job growth. The high-paying male-dominated occupation is software development. All over the United States, people are telling more people to code. This includes women, truck drivers, and journalists. Software development is a male-dominated occupation. An NPR report found that 20% of all coders are female. It is the 37th most common job in America with 1,365,000 jobs. In 2018, the government recorded the average national wage of software developers at $105,590. Over the next 10 years, they anticipate a 21% increase in software developer jobs, which will create an additional 284,000 jobs. The high-paying female-dominated occupation that I am comparing software development to is registered nurses. This is the 5th most common job in the United States, whereas 20% of software developers are female, but in nursing, only 10% are men. In 2018, the government recorded the average national wage of registered nurses at $71,730. In 2018, the government recorded 3,059,000 jobs for registered nurses. Although the average registered nurse makes less than the average software developer, the registered nurse also has the option of becoming a nurse anesthetist, a nurse midwife, or a nurse practitioner, where the salaries really get a little crazy. And over the next 10 years, they anticipate a 12% increase in the number of registered nurses, which will create an additional 371,500 jobs. So just comparing these two different occupations, it appears that nursing is growing faster than software development. And this would mean a greater number of female breadwinners going into the future, unless men start going into nursing. This is just one example why there may be more female breadwinners in the future than there are today. What did you think of this study? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video, and I will see you next time.